if you guys like never heard about this before, of course, there was this whole thing in the CIA about mind control, giving actual people like LSD and other different drugs that kind of control them, try to change them, manipulating them. They wanted to make like Manchurian candidate to actually be able to control human beings, turn them on and off. A big conspiracy theory that happened back in like the 60s, and it went on and eventually shut down. But I gotta tell you, based on a book right now, we are getting a series for HBO Max, a limited series, guys, by David Chase, who was the creator pretty much, or one of the big creators behind The Sopranos. So you're getting like true crime kind of story, like writer here to be actually making this limited series. This sounds interesting to me too. The project, which will actually be groundbreaking, they're saying, a big mob kind of drama, a big kind of, well, in a way, because they said that kind of aura, that kind of tone when it comes down to it, based off that nonfiction book project Mind Control, written by Sidney Gottlieb. And I'm gonna tell you right, the CIA, he was head of that. He actually headed MKUltra. If you guys have never heard about this before, there's a lot of great projects online, or I should say videos online about MKUltra. Now, of course, a lot of the files were deleted, destroyed, and they were saying this didn't happen. Some things leaked, though, of course. They actually called Sidney like they had all these different nicknames for him. Of course, he was the mastermind behind controlling these people. People died during this whole thing. There's so many, it's a rabbit hole you can go down. It's a massive rabbit hole. But he was actually a chemist and a spy master, they called him too, that actually controlled. They call him the Black Sorcerer. Interesting concept too. But overall, this happened like Cold War. He was actually the godfather of LSD, they're saying. And honestly, it's crazy. I can't believe this actually happened. People went through this. People lost their lives. There's actually one guy, if you go down the rabbit hole, that actually he like jumped off a balcony, they say, but then the government paid his family like $700,000, and we're like, something weird happened, so it's fine, right? Take the money and walk. And the family tried to sue the government after that. I mean, this is a rabbit hole of an idea, but to actually bring this to television, to bring this to HBO Max, it's kind of shocking to me. Like, I've heard about this project multiple times. Mind control and the government. I mean, come on, guys. Are you surprised this is happening? I hope this is great. Great producers behind this, great showrunners. GR's shaking his head. GR probably lived through this time. GR, what do you think? You hear about this. Do you believe this is going to be a great project? And are they going to be light on this? Or do you think they're going to touch all the serious topics when it comes to MKUltra?
Well, this would be the second time they've made a movie about this. The first one kind of got...
Anson was the lead there from Star Trek. I like him too. He was great. But I mean, to dive into this HBO though, they go deep in HBO stuff. GR.
This is such a true story. I mean, it started in the late 50s and went through the early 70s. During toward the end of the Vietnam era when it finally was taken.
And Eisenhower was behind it initially, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, a lot of guys, a lot of soldiers, a lot of people that were tested with this too, giving them like all these different drugs to try to control them. It's a scary time too.
It was an LSD project is what it was.
Yeah. But they said they wanted to do mind control. That was a big deal with it. They wanted mind control.
Well, they thought that with that you could do that possibly.
And they just started tripping people out constantly and causing even more medical problems too, right?
Far out, man. I mean, it was like...
So you were trying to... I'm just kidding. GR's not trying to sign up.
I volunteered, but they wouldn't have me.
They told you, not this time, thirsty daddy. Not happening. But this is even like... But all the stuff, too, they were throwing it out, deleting... Or not back then, they weren't deleting. They were just like lighting files on fire and just like burning them and destroying them. So it seems like there's a lot more to the story we'll probably never find out about. And even like this book, they delved into it, too.
No.
You know, and so do you think this is going to be censored at all, GR? Do you see it in a world where they try to control them? Because, again, I mean, I think that HBO tends to go there, too. I mean, I don't know, though. It's hard to tell a story about the government. That's what I think, though, too.
I think they'll get some of the files, but they're not going to get all of them. I mean, wouldn't you think the government's going to be honest with you? Come on.
Is this something you'd watch, GR? Are you excited about it at all?
Just having lived through that era, yeah, I'd like to see how they portray it.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to see where it goes, but it is kind of tough, I think, to touch this topic. But I like the Y-Files. If you guys have listened to the Y-Files, some of the stuff they do over there is kind of fun. They do a story about this, too. But there is a lot of crazy stuff where this goes into. Ronald, have you heard about this before? MKUltra? Have you heard about this story before, about what's going on?
I haven't, but I'm fascinated by it. It sounds like, I mean, it could be a real thriller. That could be done. Would be just like edge of your seat thriller, which sounds good.
Yeah, and it's being based off a true story too, like the conspiracy theory stuff. I think there's a lot of people that are intrigued by it as well. There's a lot of stuff like online about this too. We don't really know much about it beyond what was happening, and I'm intrigued to see if it actually does work out to become a big hit, like Emmys.
Yeah.
Depends on casting too as well.
Always.
You see anybody you think? Do you think they'll go for some young names, some new names? And you think they'll actually push the level or push the barrier for this and try to make this something like beyond?
I always think that a new name, an unknown, would be great, but a little bit of star power would be fantastic to pull people in.
Yeah, the original with Anson was really good though too. I was watching the trailer for that. I watched it a long time ago. You never really see projects based off this because a lot of the files have been destroyed. Not much information. You know,
it's a subject. Yeah,
you can imagine like even like some of the doctors too. Like they were like even the doctors themselves like just to test their loyalty. I mean, they were telling a story about how they got together for a retreat to talk about like, oh, we're gonna have a drink and go over some of the stuff, and they laced their drinks with LSD, and so then they got to test it out too on the actual doctors too.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
It's a wild ride of a story. It's a wild ride. And it's like all the CIA, the government, all involved. And again, it's one of those things that's kind of not talked about that much anymore.
No, it's government. Of course not.
It wasn't talked about back then either, Brian.
And now we're flagged on YouTube, guys. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. There we go.
On the list now.
Listening to us now. So me, any thoughts about? Have you heard about this before? MKUltra before? Have you ever heard about that?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm not very familiar with it, but I love sci-fi, so I have come across it through different scripts and stuff. Of like, I forget exactly on the top of my head right now. I mean, even like Stranger Things kind of went out with that with 11, of course, and just the based on true experiments of what was going on in certain times before. So yeah, again, any story that has not been told but needs to be told, I am all for. So whether that is what really happened or not, I'm intrigued, and I would love to see what they do with it, especially with HBO behind it, especially with a great cast like we know they have usually.
I hope they really do a deep dive. I hope they really get into it because, again, Sopranos creator, you think that it would be something gritty and raw and real.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Governments have used drugs for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
The whole German army was German army in the Second World War.
We know those people.
Meth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did other experiments with that, so.
Yeah.
A lot of experiments. It's like this, and like the fact that this went on for so long and people like disappeared and people are paid off. I'm always intrigued by that too. I always want to hear more about it. I'm like, you know what? It's also original in a lot of ways too, which I love originality because it's something different. We did it one time before, but really that was like a spin-off at one point. It didn't do that great. Now you're getting like the real creators behind it. I think this is really getting some traction more than it probably ever did before, which I think is great. Let's tell these stories. I think they're important to tell. Help us aware, learn from the past. Learn from the history so it doesn't happen again to other people because human beings aren't guinea pigs. They're not. They shouldn't be. Not to the government, not to anybody. We should be taken care of, especially when you sign up for projects like that to be military and to be, serving your country. You shouldn't be a guinea pig in a cage being laced with LSD. That's wild to me.
Human rights should not be violated.
They should not be violated.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they should not be violated, but unfortunately they are. At times it happens, and so I think that's why it's great to learn from this. Eisenhower was behind this. He signed off on it too. Wow. So that goes back a long time. So I don't know. Anybody who would not watch this? Everybody check this out? What do you think? Is anybody intrigued?
I will.
You think you're gonna definitely check it out?
Yeah. No, I'll definitely give it a chance.
Right.
It's the first time I'm hearing of it actually being a series and not just like a docu-series or something. Because I've seen docu-series of it before, but not necessarily a scripted series. So that would be interesting.
Look at Kira said, the makers of The Sopranos, are they going to end the last episode on a half frame? They might. Might be the same ending. You know what? Actually, that kind of makes sense if they do something kind of interesting and crazy. I have no idea at the end because, again, we really have no idea where this is going to go. But it is limited series, 6 episodes. That's it. Done. So, guys, hopefully it's great. MKUltra. Anybody intrigued? You might say, let me know. It's original, at least. It's not a remake. Really, it kind of is, but not like...
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the pep star needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all. KRUSE CONTROL.
control.